postmodern wisdom, indigenous wisdom. Which dimension to look at for differences? Actually, I think that's a question which is making me think. I'm wondering, well, what is postmodern wisdom? It's not something I thought about. A couple of things come to mind. One is, one of the features of postmodernism is an appreciation of multiculturalism, of diversity, of multiplicity of perspectives. And so that clearly seems important. The downside of that is that postmodernism often gets lost in the multiplicity of perspectives, and at its worst ends up paralyzed, claiming there's no truth, which is, of course, one of the crises we're in this culture at the moment, the so-called the Trump and the post-truth world. And that is a downside of the contemporary postmodern culture. And it's an example of the fact that our strengths are our traps. We have moved, what postmodernism has done is moved from the modern worldview, which had one perspective, one universal truth claim, to the recognition that there are multiple possibilities and perspectives and truth claims. And yet that strength has become a trap to the extent that there's been an unwillingness to make value judgments between perspectives. That at its worst, it's become, well, you can't make value judgments, there's no absolute truth, which is a disaster because that's a universal claim. It's what's called performative paradox. You're doing something that you say can't be done. You're claiming there's no universal truth, but you're saying it's universally true, there's no universal truth. So that's the downside of postmodernism, and the positive. The potential beyond that is the recognition. It will be an integration where we recognize the value of multiple perspectives and the importance of simultaneously appreciating value judgments. Indigenous wisdom, gosh, it's such a wide topic. Appreciation of nature, of course, is the one that's most usually mentioned. An appreciation of community, of ritual. Those are just some of the things that are most often mentioned as features of indigenous wisdom. But of course, there are lots of different indigenous wisdoms, and they're very rich and multidimensional. And I couldn't pretend to do justice to them in a few words.